There are places in this world where the veil between dreams and reality grows thin. Mexico is one of them. In its forgotten villages, in the silence between heartbeats, in the hours when darkness claims the land, things that should not exist, things that have been waiting. This channel exists to share what others dare not speak, stories pulled from whispered confessions, accounts that families hide, testimonies that were never meant to leave the shadow. What you are about to hear is one of those stories. Some say it's folklore, others say it's a warning, but those who have seen them know the truth. El Cucuy, the boogeyman of Mexican folklore, a shapeless shadow that feeds on the fear of children. No one knows what it truly looks like. Those who see its real form rarely speak again. It hides in closets, beneath beds, in the spaces where light cannot reach. Parents across Mexico invoke its name as a threat. Or El Cucuy will take you. But El Cucuy is more than a tale told to frighten children into obedience. It's a hunter, an ancient predator that knows when it's been invited, and once it mocks you, it doesn't let go. This story takes place in modern-day Monterrey, in an apartment building where Wi-Fi signals are strong. But the old warnings have been forgotten. Some things don't disappear just because we stop believing in them. Daniel was 8 years old when he stopped listening to his grandmother. She had raised him since he was 4. After his parents died in a car accident, his abuela was old-fashioned. She didn't believe in smartphones. She made him say his prayers before bed, and she constantly warned him about El Cucuy. Pórtate bien, or El Cucuy will come for you, she'd say whenever Daniel misbehaved. He used to be afraid, but he was older. He had the internet. He knew that monsters weren't real. That's just a story, Abuela Daniel would say, scrolling through his tablet. El Cucuy doesn't exist. She would shake her head, crossing herself. Don't say that, Mio. Don't invite it. But Daniel didn't listen. It started the week after he'd thrown a tantrum in the grocery store. He'd screamed at his grandmother in front of everyone, demanding she buy him a video game she couldn't afford. She'd been so embarrassed, so hurt. When they got home, she sat him down and spoke to him quietly, tears in her eyes. You must be careful, Daniel, when you act like that. When you let the anger take over, you open a door. And El Cucuy waits for doors to open. Daniel rolled his eyes. I'm not a baby. Abuela, stop trying to scare me. That night, he heard the scratching for the first time. It came from inside his closet, a slow, deliberate sound like fingernails dragging across wood. Daniel sat up in bed, his heart suddenly pounding. Abuela, calm down. No answer. She was asleep in the next room. The scratching stopped. Daniel stared at the closet door. It was slightly ajar, just a crack of darkness visible. He always kept it closed. Always. It's nothing, he whispered to himself. Just the building settling. He pulled his blanket up to his chin and closed his eyes, forcing himself to breathe slowly. Then he heard it, a voice, barely a whisper, coming from the closet. Daniel. His eyes snapped open. The voice was low, rasping, like dried leaves scraping across concrete. It didn't sound human. It didn't sound like anything that should be able to speak. Daniel, ¿por qué no me crees? Why don't you believe in me? Daniel's entire body went rigid. He couldn't move, couldn't breathe. The closet door creaked open. slowly, inch by inch. Inside, there was only darkness, but the darkness was wrong. It was too thick, too absolute, like it was made of something solid. And then, in that darkness, something moved. Daniel saw the outline of shape that didn't make sense. Too tall, too thin. Arms that hung down past where knees should be. A head that tilted at an impossible angle. Two eyes opened in the darkness. They glowed faintly, like embers dying in a fire. They were looking directly at him. Daniel screamed. His grandmother rushed into the room, flipping on the light. The closet door stood wide open. Empty. Nothing inside but clothes and shoes. ¿Qué pasó, mijo? ¿Qué pasó? She held him as he sobbed, his whole body shaking. It was in the closet. Daniel choked out. Sao italiano. I saw El Cucuy. His grandmother's face went pale. She looked at the closet, then back at Daniel. She didn't tell him it was a dream. She didn't tell him he was being silly. Instead, she whispered, "What did you do, Daniel? What did you say?" I said it wasn't real. I said it didn't exist. She closed her eyes, shaking her head slowly. Ay, mijo. You called to it. You challenged it. And now it knows you. His grandmother tried everything. She placed crucifixes around his room, sprinkled salt across the doorway, burned sage until the entire apartment smelled like smoke. She made Daniel apologize out loud to the empty air for his disbelief. "I'm sorry, El Cucuy," Daniel said, feeling ridiculous. "I believe in you now. Please, leave me alone." But it didn't leave. Every night, it came back. Sometimes it was in the closet, sometimes beneath the bed. Once, Daniel woke to find it standing in the corner of his room, perfectly still, watching him with those ember eyes. It never came closer, not yet, but it was always there. Daniel stopped sleeping. He stayed awake as long as he could, his tablet glowing beside him, cartoons playing on loop. But exhaustion always won, and the moment he drifted off, he could feel it watching, waiting. His grandmother took him to Father Miguel at the church. The priest listened to Daniel's story, his expression grave. He came to the apartment and performed a blessing, walking through every room with holy water and prayer. "This should help," Father Miguel said. "But you must understand, Daniel, El Cucuy is drawn to more than just disbelief. It feeds on fear. Yes, but also on guilt, on anger, on the darkness we carry inside us." Daniel didn't understand. He was just a kid. What darkness could he have? But that night, lying in bed, he thought about the grocery store, about how he'd screamed at his grandmother, about the look on her face, the hurt, the exhaustion. She did everything for him, and he treated her like that. The guilt sat heavy in his chest, and from the closet, he heard the scratching again. This time, Daniel didn't scream. He didn't call for his grandmother. He sat up in bed and stared at the closet door as it creaked open. The shadow inside was darker than before, more defined. He could see the shape of it now, the elongated limbs, the skeletal fingers, the head that seemed too large for its body. It stepped forward into the dim light of his nightlight. Daniel's breath caught in his throat. It was wearing a face. Not its own face, it didn't have one, but a mask of shadows that shifted and changed. For a moment, it looked almost human, almost familiar. Then it smiled. "You see me now," it whispered. "You truly see me." Daniel's voice shook. What do you want? The creature tilted its head, considering. You invited me with your anger, your cruelty, your darkness. I am what you feed, Daniel. I am the shadow of who you are. Tears spilled down Daniel's cheeks. I didn't mean it. I was just mad. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. El Cucuy leaned closer. Its breath was cold, smelling of earth and decay. Sorry dos, no close the door, niño. Only you can do that. But, fears, you must face what you've done. The next morning, Daniel's grandmother found him sitting at the kitchen table, red-eyed and exhausted. Abuela, he said quietly, I'm sorry for everything, for how I've been acting, for what I said at the store. You do everything for me and I've been terrible. She looked at him, surprised. Then she sat down beside him, taking his hand. Mijo, I know you're tired, Daniel continued. I know I make things hard, but I'm going to be better. Promise. His grandmother's eyes filled with tears. She pulled him into a hug, holding him tight. I love you, Daniel. Always. For the first time in weeks, Daniel felt something lift from his chest. The guilt loosened. Who's the little? That night, he waited. He kept his eyes on the closet. The scratching came, as it always did. The door creaked open, but this time, the darkness inside seemed thinner, less solid. El Cucuy emerged, but it was different. Smaller, less defined. Its ember eyes were dim. You are learning, it whispered, but I am still here. I will always be here, because you are human, and humans carry darkness. Daniel swallowed hard. Will you ever leave? The creature's smile was unreadable. That depends on you. Months have passed. Daniel still sees El Cucuy, sometimes a shadow in the corner of his eye, a shape moving in the darkness when he's alone. But it's different. Now quieter and distant. His grandmother says he's been better, kinder, more patient. He helps her with groceries, does his homework without complaint, says his prayers before bed. But at night, when the apartment is silent, he can still hear it. That faint scratching from the closet, that whisper in the dark. Some say El Cucuy left because Daniel became a better person, because he closed the door he'd opened with his anger and guilt. Others say El Cucuy never leaves, that it simply waits, watching for the moment when the darkness returns, because it always does, eventually. And there are those who believe something else entirely, that El Cucuy isn't a monster at all. That it's a mirror, a reflection of the shadows we carry inside ourselves. Daniel doesn't know which version is true, but he knows one thing for certain. El Cucuy is still there, in the closet, beneath the bed, in the space between sleeping and waking, and it will never truly be gone. Some stories don't end. They linger. They follow you like shadows, like whispers, like creatures that live in the space between sleeping and waking. If you've made it this far, you're one of us now. One of those who know that the old legends aren't just stories. They're warnings. There are more tales buried in the darkness of Mexico. More creatures waiting to be remembered. More testimonies that should have stayed hidden. If you want to hear them, you know what to do. Leave your mark below. Subscribe. And when the next story arrives, be ready. Because once you start listening, they start listening back.